Ranking Member Scott, appreciate your being here, one of our senior members.
Thank you, Mr. Hoyer, and thank you for inviting me here today for this important discussion. We need to have more of these discussions about what needs to change so that American people can share in the prosperity they work so hard to create. But unfortunately, our colleagues across the aisle are focused on other things, making it harder for workers to form a union, attempting over 60 times to roll back the Affordable Care Act, all at the same time giving tax breaks to the wealthy. Meanwhile, they've wasted millions of dollars being fixated on the Benghazi Committee. Mr. Hoyer, you know that families across America are struggling to make ends meet. Angela in Cleveland took 3 days took 3 days off with the stomach flu, and that's a good thing because she's a teacher. But 3 sick days is all she had, so the next time she got the flu, she went to work sick because her job depended on it, and she watched the illness infect many of her students in the classroom. I've received many stories from working men and women across the country, like Angela, who are giving all they can to their work, but they can't get a shred of dignity in return. India Ford, who's in my district, spoke to members yesterday about how she worked nights and weekends for nearly a dozen years at a restaurant. As a single mom, this meant not being there for homework, PTA meetings, and even to put her daughter to bed. Finally, she took a new job with a manager who offered to give her a schedule that worked for her family, and what did she ask for? The lunch shift. Then thanks to this simple change, she now is home with her daughter at night, and she's able to attend school events. But basic protections like fair schedules and paid sick days shouldn't depend on winning the boss lottery. They should be a fundamental right of every citizen. And that's why yesterday, many of my Democratic colleagues and I launched the Working Families Agenda. The Working Families Agenda calls on Congress to deliberate on the responsible solutions that hardworking Americans want and need. In my written testimony, I've included a few fact sheets setting out the Working Families Agenda, which includes legislation that would boost wages, help workers better balance work and family, and level the playing field so that all workers have a chance to succeed. Thank you, Mr. Hoyer, for joining us yesterday for the Working Families Agenda, Working Families Day of Action, where we heard the facts and evidence in support of these policies. And I think it's time that we started putting people and their families first in America, and that's what the Working Families Agenda does. So again, thank you, Mr. Hoyer, for bringing us together. And I'll submit for the record the details of the Working Families Agenda.
I want to thank the